just bought this new Lamborghini. But you know what I like more than Lamborghinis? Knowledge. Look at that. Look at all this knowledge. We're in the nonfiction section of the library today. That's why I'm kind of talking quietly, because we're in a library. Gotta keep quiet in these places. But, you know, all this stuff, I literally just walked in here for free. You could sign up for a library card. All you really need is to have, like, proof of residence of your, like, state or your county or whatever, and they'll literally just give you a library card, and you have access to, like, literally infinite knowledge, or maybe not infinite, but more than you could ever obtain or consume in your entire life, you know, unless you think you could read every single book in this library and then some. I mean, good luck with that. But, you know, we have access to all this knowledge, but everybody limits themselves to whatever's knowledge is put in front of them on their phone screen. So just get out there, expand your mind. You know, reading is just, I have personally just recently fallen back in love with reading, because, you know, in high school, or even all the way back to middle school, and maybe in elementary school, I was reading like the Percy Jackson series and stuff like that. But once I got to like middle school and we had to do like those dumbass reading logs, or at least that's how I saw them at the time, but I wasn't a fan of those things. So in middle school and in high school, I would just never do them. I would always like lie on, like, oh, I read 20 minutes every night of this book that I kept rereading over and over through the years, quote unquote, even though I just never read. I just made up the reading log entries. But, you know, I think a good part of reading is finding something that you actually enjoy reading, because if you're reading in school is like really different to just reading for entertainment, right? Reading for entertainment, you can literally find books on like anything that you'd want to learn about, which is, you know, it doesn't even have to be about learning either. It could be about escaping, like video games, kind of like a video game-esque kind of reading, where if you're reading fiction, I'd kind of make that a little bit synonymous to playing video games, because you're kind of escaping. But here, since we're in the Carnegie Library, the museum is like right here, so I'll show you these dinosaurs. Look at that. Some dinosaurs bones right there, and apparently a lot of those bones that are like in those models are like mostly real. That's what I was told when I was going through the museum. But there's the bell, because the library is closing soon. But, you know, get out of your comfort zone. And I know reading books is hard. It was very hard for me at first as well, because, like I said, I was never a fan of reading, or I was turned off by the idea of reading for the most part throughout school, because it just wasn't fun, and we were reading about boring shit that nobody cared about, even though, like, I guess it is like fundamental to building American literature, or modern American literature, because, you know, things like,
thank you for visiting Carnegie Libraries.
All right, so the library is closing very soon, so we got to get out of here. But, you know, basically what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of knowledge out here, and just reading is definitely great. It's a great way of obtaining more knowledge, because you can learn things online, but there's also a different type of wisdom that comes through books, because people, like, you know, with these like videos on YouTube videos and stuff like that, I'm giving like wisdom, quote unquote, but it's not as directed and intentional and organized. It is intentional, but it's not as concise and clear as something like a book is, because that is literally just, they cut out all the extra fat, all the filler words and stuff like that. So it's basically just what you need to know. They give it to you in the form of text, rather than, you know, listening to it through your ears, which is, I guess, an easier way of consuming. But sometimes it's good to be uncomfortable, and even if that means you have to read rather than just listening to a podcast or something, or a YouTube video like this, in order to gain your knowledge, you know, put yourself out there, expand your mind, read some books, gain that knowledge. Thanks for watching. Stay on target. I'll see you next time.